Hi everyone, good afternoon. Before I start, I'd like to ask a simple question. How many of you received a scholarship, any kind of scholarship for to be able to study? Please raise your hand. Okay, so quite a few. Well, my name is Lynn, and I'm from the Philippines, and I received a scholarship when I was young. And this allowed me to go to a very good school. And I can say that with most sincere honesty that all the opportunities I've had access to so far was because somebody decided to invest in my potential, including this opportunity to present before you this morning. So in a nutshell, my project is about that, investing in people's potential. Unfortunately, not all the people from the Philippines were as lucky as I am. Out of a population of about 10 million people, there are 2.3 million children living below the poverty line. And as you can see in the statistics, a lot of them are deprived of education. And even those who go to public schools, they're not necessarily receiving good and high-quality education. In fact, based on the 2010 statistic, overall dropout rate in different public schools have increased by 6%. Previously, the number of students dropping out are 70%. Now it's at 76%, 80%, etc. Everything increased by 8%. And what's the reason? Why are these children not going to school? Why don't they want to go to school? Don't they want to build a better life for themselves? The number one reason they cited was lack of interest. They don't want to go to school. And honestly, if you're in a classroom with 60 to 80 students, if you're sharing your textbooks with 5 other students, and if there are no armchairs, so sometimes you sit in a chair, sometimes you sit in a sack of rice, it's very hard for you also to be interested to go to school. Our idea was simple. We want to build a very good school, high-quality school for children who can't afford it. So in 2008, we put up Mano Amiga Academy. Mano Amiga is Spanish because, well, the Philippines was conquered by Spaniards before, but that's a history lesson I will not go into. So Mano Amiga means helping hand. And what it strives to be is that it provides high-quality education to children who can't afford it. So what do we mean by high-quality education? That these children would have access to the best books. In preschool, there are only 15 students in a class. In grade school and high school, there are only 30 students. Apart from that, everybody will have their own armchair to sit in, their own uniforms, and we are investing in the best teachers. Because as many of you know, if a school can only be as good as the quality of its teachers. Now, for 2 years, we've been running the school so well, and it's been leading to good results. Why? Because we're also immersing, our approach was very holistic. Apart from academics, we're also forming these children in other aspects. These children have access to football lessons, ballet lessons. We're also working with their families and their communities. We're giving them access to basic dental, medical services. We're working with the community. We put up a community library. We're providing livelihood opportunities. Now, in 2010, we realized our main problem. The reason why very good schools charge high tuition fees was because it's very costly to run very good schools. And we realized that for us to be able to maintain the quality of our program, for us to never compromise, we need to find a way to make our school slowly self-sustainable. So by the end of 2010, in early 2011, we decided to put up a cafeteria business that donates 100% of its profits to the Mano Amiga Scholarship Fund. Now, why a cafeteria, right? I mean, of all the businesses, why did we decide to venture into this idea? Well, our office, the Office of our Foundation, it's actually located in one of the most expensive international schools in the Philippines. And every day, we would hear parents of that international school of privileged families, they would always complain, I pay high tuition fees, I pay so highly in this school, but my kids are not eating well. The meals in that school, because Filipinos have everything fried, they're always deep fried and they're always oily. Now, when I talk to the cafeteria running at the time, they said that if they sell healthy meals, children will not buy it because children like fries and nuggets. So Manamiga, we saw an opportunity. How about if we put up a cafeteria that provides the families delicious meals, healthy, balanced meals. We'll do the chicken nuggets and the burgers, but everything will be homemade. We won't use anything that could cause cancer, or we won't serve fried food every day. And make these kids happy and their parents happy. So we actually approached that school, and since their concessionaire was ending, we said, how about next year we'll take over your cafeteria? We'll give you healthy, balanced meals that the children will like. And then it also give you an opportunity to help, because every meal you eat in our school would help send a child to Manamiga Academy. And what you would offer us in return is that you'll help sustain our program, and you'll also provide livelihood opportunities, because the parents of our students will be the employees of the cafeteria. Good thing they took a leap of faith. So I just want to share, when we opened the cafeteria, from relying completely on donations in just the first year, we were able to get our profits, 1% from tuition fees, because we charge tuition fees, very small tuition fees to our parents. We still relied a little bit, majority on grants, 67%, but then on the first year we opened our cafeteria, suddenly 32% of our operating costs was sustained by this cafeteria. And our goal is to really slowly make our organization less dependent on grants and be more self-sustaining. For Bistro 3846, the name of the cafeteria, as you can see, most of our revenues came from the lunch meals, meaning the children and the children and the staff in the international school eating the cafeteria. We also served snacks, but at the same time, we would cater to their parties. And I'm very happy to report that in our first year, we were able to gather an average monthly net profit of 35%. And we always say that you're helping us build future leaders one lunch meal at a time. So what we did is that 80% of our income was immediately donated to Manamiga for the operations of the school, while 20% was kept for cash flow, as well as for repairs, in case we need a new oven, etc. Sorry, I'd like to mention also why this is very strategic. I mentioned there, captive market of 160 families and growing. The reason why cafeteria business is so lucrative is because all your customers are there already. And they have no choice but eating your cafeteria, right? What's amazing is every year the number of people eating in our cafeteria are growing. So let me first talk about the competition. So I want to talk about what differentiates Manamiga Academy from other schools for the poor or for marginalized children in the Philippines. So I want to bring your attention first to the ones below. So we have semi-private schools, and as I told you before, the parents, it's not that they don't want their children to be educated, it's just that sometimes there are really no affordable good schools for children from low-income families. So usually tuition fees in what they call semi-private schools, they charge about $700 a year. There's still poor quality textbooks, meaning the textbooks are not updated every year. And they're about one teacher to 40 students. In achievement exams, they're very low in terms of passing rate, and there's still a high dropout rate. I already mentioned to you earlier the state of public school education in the Philippines. So I want to talk to you about Manamiga Academy. The tuition fee in Manamiga, as I mentioned, is based on what the family can afford, which is about $1 to $9 a month. Plus, they volunteer their time with the school, so our parents help us in keeping the cost low by helping us clean, serving as teacher assistants, being our plumber, etc. At the same time, we really invest in high-quality books. Again, I mentioned earlier. But what's amazing about this is suddenly we're witnessing miracles among these students. From students before who couldn't even look you in the eye, these are now students who can carry themselves well. In the Philippines, if you don't speak English well, people look down on you, unfortunately. And now these children can speak with anybody they wish to. So these are the results creating every day by the school. Now, I'd like to talk to you about Bistro. So sorry, that's not just McDonald's. I love McDonald's. This is just all the fast food industry in the Philippines. So the one below is just your regular cafeteria. These are the other cafeterias in the Philippines. And usually, meal for adults would cost about $2.5. Meal for kids would be $1.5. And then you get the healthy option, which is a little bit more expensive, $3 to $3.5. The problem with parents have with this is that, again, the taste is inconsistent and they're not really sure how the food is prepared. For McDonald's and other fast food, which I also love very much, but it's not advisable to eat it every day because it's unhealthy, meal for adults would be $3.50 and meal for kids would be $3. It's convenient, again, consistent. However, the challenge with eating McDonald's every day is that you're not really meeting your nutritional requirements. What differentiates Bistro 3846 from these services is that our products, maybe they're about $3 per meal. The kids are $2.5, so more or less the same with other cafeteria, just a little bit expensive. But at the same time, we provide delicious and balanced meals. I forgot to mention that our in-house chef, she's actually a graduate of Cordon Bleu London. So she's the one training the Manamiga mothers in making sure they deliver not just quality food, but also quality service. And our unique selling proposition, of course, is that every meal sends a child to school. What parents love about this is that it's teaching their children to give at such an early age. You have one of the best stories of Bistro is that one student refused to eat. She went on a hunger strike because her parents didn't want her to eat in the cafeteria. And she kept saying, I want to be able to help the kids in Manamiga. I want to eat in this school. I'm not sure how good that is, but at least it's showing signs that these children also want to help at such an early age.
Thank you, Sean.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is just the number of individuals we're impacting every year. So 2011 had 85 enrolled students and 425 families benefiting. So I think you can just, I don't need to go through it everything, I can just present it, but what's amazing about this is that the sustainability model, so from 2011, if we're relying on grants from 67%, our goal is to eventually just rely on grants by 5%. So we want to be able to grow in such a way that 85% will come from the cafeteria business. And why this is such a good partnership is because Manamiga is able to provide committed employees, a unique selling proposition, and access to our donors and partners to Bistro 3846, while Bistro provides Manamiga with a steady income, livelihood opportunities for the parents, and more awareness about the project. So this is very important. This is just our financials. So year 0 and year 1. So year 0 was 2011, year 1 is 2012, and those are actual figures. So our projected income for year 2 and year 3 from Bistro would be 54,762 and 80,952. Because what we want to do is we want to be able, for 2013, we want to be able to expand into retail. We were going to be providing healthy bento meals. And by year 3, we're opening up our second cafeteria. In one, again, we were being offered by another international school in the area. So, I think Stephen will really enjoy this. But again, if you want to learn more about the project, please feel free to visit our site. Like what I said earlier, this is really about investing in potential. We're investing in these children so that they become future leaders of the country someday, and we're investing in our parents so that they themselves will build healthy, better lives for their children. Thank you.
Okay, the question. I have other questions as well. The school and the cafeteria. Why do they? Can they exist separately? Why does it make sense to be together?
As I mentioned earlier, the reason why it's better for them to exist together is because Manamiga provides us with steady source of committed employees, meaning the parents of our students. It gives them access to the current donor network of Manamiga. But at the same time, Bistro helps sustain the education and also helps generate awareness and support for the project. So it's mutually beneficial in that sense.
I would imagine not all the parents are working in the cafeteria.
Not all.
Right. And are they getting salaries for it?
Yes, they're all being paid fair wages. We're following there, and they're getting all the yes, they're getting fair wages.
One question: what do they eat in the Manamiga school?
What they well, we eat a lot of rice and we eat a lot of meat.
Right, but is this the same? Is it the same food made by the bistro, or is it different?
No, because we're in an international school for Bistro 1346, we have to cater to diverse tastes. So we have Korean barbecue, japchae, we have Vietnamese spring rolls, everything, which are not usually what the children in Manamiga would eat.
Why not open another restaurant right now so that you can fund it 100%?
Because we don't want to open too prematurely. We want to make sure that we're really able to train our parents well. That's why the money that we're looking for $10,000, which we would invest in both equipment and training for the Manamiga mothers, we decided to first move into retail because we're getting a lot of offers for different restaurants to carry. With Bistro Bento meals, the one I mentioned. But we do have that intention to put up a second branch in 2014.
Have you secured enough grants to continue operating until you become self-sustaining?
Grants for Manamiga? More or less, yes. I think it's a challenge for everybody to always constantly search for grants. But what's amazing is, since we put up Bistro 1346, since people can see that it's sustainable in the long term, the grants we also receive for Manamiga has increased by so much.